Okay. If you look carefully enough, you can see the West Indian Manatee. Hold on. Yep. There it is. It's about to come up. Watch. Wait for it. Wait for it. There's another one. Should be coming up any moment. I mean, just look at this. They are absolutely massive. Yep. There they is. Alright, give me just a second. I need to move out of the way. Yep. So what you saw just a moment ago was the West Indian Manatee. So, for one thing that you will see in the Silver Spring is the eelgrass. Well, not this, but underwater. So you can see some stretches of it. Eelgrass is basically the freshwater equivalent to seagrass. So given that the West Indian Manatee, since they are herbivores, that is what they will commonly feed on. Oh, there we go. Just saw a mullet jump. And again. So the West Indian Manatee, even though they may look rather chubby, actually most of their bulky appearance actually comes from their bones. Their bones are very dense, and they can weigh, a couple of 100 tons. So, given that they are herbivores, and that they are very dense, we oftentimes call them the sea cow. A good way to spot a manatee, if you don't see it right away, is you have to look at the water. And sometimes you'll see like a little bit of like a wave action. Kind of like how, what's the best way to put it? I'll do a demonstration. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. So let's say I put my hand underwater and I do this. Notice how you can see a little bit of water movement from when I'm moving my hand around? Well, essentially, manatees do the same exact thing, but oftentimes it's with their fins. And so, oftentimes, what us ecologists call that is the manatee's footprint. So, if you are a good distance from them and you can see that happening, that's when you know that there's a manatee nearby. And you may have noticed that short little bit when a manatee was coming up for air. Well, common misconception with them is they are water breathing, just like fish. Actually, no, that's not the case. The manatee is a great example of a aquatic mammal. So they have lungs, just as we do. They need to come up for air. But oftentimes, if a manatee needs to, they can hold their breath for as much as 15 minutes long. Which, by the way, is truly amazing. I don't even think a human can do that. Because, we have a much smaller lung capacity. Oh, wow. That lumpkin's making their company known. So, and for another, too, as to how they're mammals, is they also have mammary glands, which are milk-producing organs. So, fortunately, a few times during past excursions, I've had the pleasure of actually seeing a baby manatee accompanying their mother. So it's truly a pleasure to watch. So you figure the baby has to feed on the milk, just like any other mammal. Same exact thing. And they're the only biological creatures that do something like that. Only mammals. Wow. So, one last aspect that I wanted to mention about, too, is with manatees, they have a particular temperature tolerance. So, manatees, they cannot survive in waters that fall below 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or else they get a cold spell, their equivalent of a hypothermia. So, oftentimes during the winter, the estuarine waters and the Gulf or the Atlantic, it gets too chilly, because oftentimes it can fall below that 68 degree threshold. And so, given that the springs maintain a relatively constant temperature of around 72 degrees Fahrenheit, they will start to migrate landward, more inland. So they'll stay here for a time, for a good while, and then eventually, as it gets into the summer, they'll go back out towards the estuaries and the ocean. So you could say that they are a very versatile creature in terms of what types of waters that they can swim in. And that's why having connection between our rivers and our oceans are absolutely crucial. Because as soon as we build any dams and whatnot, we start to block a little bit of that access. And the manatees already are an endangered species. So taking any protections to allow their survival is good measure. Because frankly, there's really no other creature that falls similar to a manatee whatsoever. So, it's so good to see them. That was always like one of the most anticipated parts of this little excursion. So, yes, very glad to see them. So, alright, take care, you guys. Hope you have an enjoyable day, and journey on a journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya. Enjoy that view.